A Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game collection was a long time coming, and thanks to the early days collection, you can experience the first few years of Yu-Gi-Oh! On the portable market. The best part is that it's not just games released in North America. Included in this 14-game anthology are entries that were previously region-locked in Japan, so you don't just get familiar titles like Dark Duel Stories and Eternal Duelist Soul, but games such as the very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters 4. Needless to say, if you are already a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan or someone curious to see the origins of the franchise's video game branch, then this collection may be for you. It's important to distinguish that this collection is only titles released on handheld consoles, so no home console entries like Forbidden Memories or Duelist of the Roses. Maybe one day Konami will release that, however, I'm unsure if a non-15 card mod of FM would be preferred by anyone who isn't already a masochist. Still, the denial of home console games do feel missed even with the plethora of titles already included. And even that is just marketed as the early days. Thus, later games that you may feel nostalgic towards are also omitted. DS titles such as Spirit Caller and Nightmare Troubadour don't fit that bill, since the included games appear to be only between the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advanced. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, for that matter, appears to be left out entirely because Duel Academy and Ultimate Masters are left out GBA games, meaning it's more of a Duel Monsters collection than anything else. Here's hoping for a GX collection down the road. That said, what games are included? The lineup consists of the following 14: Duel Monsters 1, DM2, Monster Capsule GB, Dark Duel Stories, DM4, Dungeon Dice Monsters, Eternal Duelist Soul, DM6, Sacred Cards, Rechef of Destruction, Stairway to the Destined Duel, World Championship Tournament 2004, Destiny Board Traveler, and 7 Trials to Glory. You'll have more than enough Yu-Gi-Oh! Playtime with all of these, though it must be mentioned that DM6 only includes the Japanese language, with its English version being Stairway. Makes you wonder why they even included it. And no Monster Capsule Breed and Battle? Even if it's the original version of Capsule, it shows Konami's lack of consistency with the game lineup. Did they just not have time to translate it like they did with the other games? Something is amiss. On a more positive note, not all these games are pure card game simulators. You get some spin-off titles with Monster Capsule, Dungeon Dice Monsters, and Destiny Board Traveler. This is a great chance to see what else the Yu-Gi-Oh! IP offers, much like the plethora of games in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. It would have been easy to simply put a few English games on here like Dark Duel Stories, Eternal Duelist Soul, and Sacred Cards and call it a day. So, despite my complaints with consistency, I'm grateful for the sheer amount of games that are included, and that it's not just a waterfall of duel simulators. I can imagine that would get old rather quickly unless you're a diehard Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan like myself, and even I have my limits. In addition, the collection receives many quality of life upgrades that other game collections have been getting. This includes online play customization, a rewind, fast forward function, the ability to save anywhere, and a digital gallery for box art and manuals. This is awesome. It gives modern life to many of these humble games that can otherwise be slow and or frustrating due to AI difficulty and randomness factors. I like the ability to speed through the slower aspects of these games and help alleviate some of the grinding these games are known for. Being able to remove deck capacity, change the limited list, playing with otherwise unobtainable cards, and more is nothing short of exciting. Makes me want a modern port of Forbidden Memories even more now. Though there is an asterisk, as online play is only for DM4 upon release, with more titles planned for support. Strange that Konami picked that game specifically and that there's only one on release. Perhaps this collection needed more time to cook, as to refer back to the inconsistency with game inclusion and translations. Hopefully they get support for more titles sooner rather than later. A Rechef of Destruction metagame would be fascinating to see given that game's unique mechanics, because many of these games follow the OCG's card pool and not what was only available in the TCG. Like Eternal Duelist Soul, a game released in 2002, has cards released in the OCG, but released much later in the TCG, like Gemini Elf, Cyberstein, and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I don't want to turn this into a review of every single title. That would be much better as individual videos, sans DDS and EDS, which I've already done videos of. I also respect your time as well as my own, since playing every game in respectable length would make this one too long to produce, as well as the importance being placed on the collection as a product and not a bunch of old games thrown together on Steam and Nintendo Switch. I'd rather discuss the benefits to the package and let you all experience the retro Yu-Gi-Oh journey yourselves. After all, the collection is made for people already inherently curious or nostalgic. Otherwise, you stick to Master Duel, right? Remember, prior to the early days collection, there was no modern way to play these games. You had to own them physically or by some other unorthodox means. They were games that, at the most recent, came out 2 decades ago. To combine so many titles in one is absolutely phenomenal in the sense that I doubt these games would have seen individual releases otherwise. Thus, despite my qualms with ultimately petty complaints, this collection is full of praises. If you were on edge on purchasing Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection, then consider that this is the most affordable, user-friendly way to access the first chunk of games in the franchise's history. And if they sell well, maybe we'll see more. I certainly hope so.